Hello, sweetie. I gotta put it in the holder first. Can't do that. Wait a minute. Okay. It was good. How was your day? That's good. Yeah, I got the volume all the way up. I didn't know if I had my volume all the way up. I had to check and make sure it was up. Yeah, I was just watching YouTube when you called. You have what? Oh, videos to put up? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Uh, Another day. Now today I work from 7 to 2, and I'll probably be there past 2 o'clock. So I'm scheduled from 7 a.m. Well, 7 p.m. to 2 a.m. your time. That's what my schedule is today, and I'll probably be there longer than 2 o'clock. So I'm sure you'll be in bed when I get home, because I won't be home until sometime after 2 o'clock in the morning your time. So I'm sure you'll be sound asleep. Well, let's see, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2. No, 7 to 2 is 7 hours. Yeah, I'm scheduled 7 hours today, but I'll probably be there longer than 2 o'clock because I left early Thursday. I left, I think it was a half an hour early, so I need to stay at least another half an hour so I get the 31 hours that I'm scheduled to work for the week. So So I'll be there at least until 2:30. It might even be later than that. I don't know yet. So because I know we got a truck yesterday, so I'll have a lot of produce that came in on the truck yesterday that I'll have to be putting out because like all of our salad mixes and stuff like that come in on Friday's truck. Now whether or not they got any of it put out yesterday, I don't know. Won't know until I get there. Plus on Saturdays, I do the floors, and then when I'm done doing the floors, then I start on produce because my first 2 hours from like 7 to 9 is doing the floors, and then from 9 o'clock to whenever I do produce. So just have to wait and see. I have no idea how much got done yesterday and how much I got to do today. But I know I'm definitely scheduled until 2 o'clock. So, pardon? Yeah, yeah, yeah. I went up yesterday and gave. Oh wait a minute. Let me turn my fan off. I can barely hear you. Okay, now we'll try again. Yep. Oh yeah. Yep. Now I can hear you a lot better without that fan blowing and stuff. So Well, I'm leaving on the 9th, but I won't get there probably until either late on the 10th or the 11th. I'm not sure, how long it would take. And of course, that might be up in the air if I don't have my visa, because I may have to change my plans if I don't. I still got to wait to get that letter that tells me what additional information that the State Department needs to finish my visa application. So I'm waiting to get that letter. So until I get that and see what additional information they need, and then I got to get that information, either emailed or sent to them through the mail, and then they'll, continue the process. So, I'm planning on flying out on the 9th, but, it depends on if I have my visa or not. Because if I don't have my visa, then there's no way that I can fly out, because I'd have to have that. So right now I'm waiting to get that letter, but they said it was mailed out on Wednesday the 15th. So, that's what I'm waiting on right now, is get that letter and see what additional information they need. And then I'll go from there. If I can get it to them right away, if they'll allow me to email whatever they need, if they'll allow me to email it to them, they'll have it, right away. But, once I get that letter and see what they need, then I will, um, you know, get together what information they need so I can get it to them. And then once I get my visa, then I will book my flight. And I'm hoping that because see, a week from yesterday, next Friday will be my next paycheck, and that's when I plan on, um, you know, booking my flight is next Friday. But it's going to depend on if I get my visa. Because, well, actually, I had planned on booking my flight next Friday, but until I actually have my visa, I'm not going to book my flight because, I figured because it was 2 weeks ago yesterday that I turned the application in at the post office, and then they mailed it to the State Department to, you know, do my paperwork and stuff. And because they said it would be like 2 to 3 weeks and I should have my visa. Well, yesterday was 2 weeks. So right now, everything's on hold until I get my visa. So I got to have that to fly, especially I mean, I wouldn't have to have it if I fly within the United States, but since I'm going to your country, the Philippines, I would definitely have to have it. So everything right now is on hold until I get my visa. Because they had said, well, 2 to 3 weeks. So yesterday was 2 weeks. So I was figuring, well, okay, by next Friday would be 3 weeks, and hopefully I'd have it then. But right now, I don't know how long it'll take for me to get it. So once I get it, then I will book my flight, and of course, then I'll have to go down to the Department of Motor Vehicles and get my new you know, government, ID that has a little star on it, which allows me to fly. Because I got to have that anytime I fly, whether it's right here in the United States or anywhere. I have to have that new government ID, and I have to have my visa to go down and get that. So I'm hoping everything gets taken care of, and I can still fly out on the 9th of next month. That's what I'm hoping. I already made the reservation at the hotel, and So I've already made that reservation, and I have the reservation and everything because I got to have that, you know, I got to have that as proof of where I'm going to be staying at while I'm there, because they'll want to know, part of the things that I need to have is, well, my visa. I'd have to have, debit card, or, in cash or whatever, and I'd have to have where I'm going to be staying at. Whether they need to know the address of where I'll be staying at, whether it's at a hotel or whether it was with somebody, and I'd have to give them, the name of where I'm staying, the address, everything. I'd have to have proof of where I'd be staying at. So, I've got that. I've got the proof of where I'll be staying at. So, but, right now, everything's on hold until I get my visa, or at least until I get that, letter saying what additional information they need. And if it's something very simple, like, you know, maybe I typed in a name wrong or an address wrong or just a number wrong or whatever and stuff, then, hopefully it's something simple. Because the photo ID I had taken is, it's an official photo ID because I went to, there's a place right here in Wooster, it's called Staples. It's an office supply place. And the passport photos that they took, are, official passport, photos. So it is, it can't be that because, that's an official, you know, place where you can get your photo taken at. So I don't know. I just have to wait and see what that letter says whenever I get it. So right now everything's on hold until I find that, until I at least get that letter, and then we'll go from there. So hopefully it's something very simple that they need, you know, and hopefully I can email it to them rather than send it through regular mail. Because for it to send it through regular mail, they said that, well, I'll see whether or not I get the letter today. I won't know until I get home from work. But it would be nice if they mailed it out Wednesday and I got it today. And if it's something that I got to mail back to them, that, I can mail it out Monday and they would have it by Wednesday or Thursday of next week if I can't email it to them. So I'll just have to wait and see. All I can do is wait until I get that letter to see what they need, and then we'll go from there. I thought I had everything done right. I made sure that, that I put all my information in, correctly, my name, my address, my phone number, my mom and dad's, uh, name, and, where they were, because they wanted to know where they were born at. So, I've got that listed, and so I don't know. We'll just see. So, what did you do today? Anything? Anything exciting? Did you go out? Do anything today? Never went anywhere. Well, that stinks. Yeah. Okay. Okie dokie. Oh, okay. Well, like I said, I'm scheduled to work until 2 o'clock, and I'm sure I will be there later than 2 o'clock. So I know when I after I get home and stuff, I know you'll be sound asleep. So yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, dokie. Uh, mwah. I love you. You're beautiful. You're beautiful. You're gorgeous. You're sweet. You're amazing. And I love you so, so much. Forever and ever and always. Well, it's only 6:21, so I ain't leaving for a few more minutes, but I'm gonna get up and open my curtain, and I'm gonna put the camera over in the curtain, over in the window. I mean, is that okay to do it now? Okay, I will go do that right now. Hang on. Stepping on it, tag on it. Okay, there we go. Okay, it's all done. Nah. So, how was your sleep when you slept? How like when I was gone yesterday, because I went to get plasma and stuff. So, how was your? Yeah, good. Okay. No, that's good. Yeah, I got up there to get plasma, and they, no bruise again. I used the same arm as I used Monday, and no bruise again. So that's good because when she put it in, she got it on the first try, and it was the same girl that did it Monday. So she's getting better because the same girl in the past is the one that has bruised me really bad. But Monday and yesterday, I used the same arm, my right arm, for Monday and Friday, and she got it on the first. When she put it in, she got the vein on the first try, so I didn't have to move it around and nothing like that. So once again, I have no bruise because I just looked at it and it's perfect, perfectly clear. So, oh yeah, it is. It's real nice. And what I'll do is because it's got the like a little red mark right where the needle went in and stuff. So that way, I'll use the same arm again Monday, and they can put they'll stick the needle in right at that same spot, and then the odds are that they will find the vein on the very first try. So because I figure, oh, my left side is perfectly fine. But the problem is with my left side is that's where they always have a problem finding the vein. And my left one is where they always have to, pull it out a little bit, move it around, and push it back in, and they have to move it around, and when they do, it it may just barely you know hit the vein or whatever, and when they pull it back out a little bit, then that blood comes out and gets underneath the skin, and that's what bruises it. So that's why, if I can, I always use my right arm because they never have a problem finding my vein in my right arm. It's just like when they last time when they bruised my left arm, they they switched. They wrapped they wrapped that one up, and then they tried my right arm and found it, but it bruised my right arm also. So then then I couldn't use either arm. So you know that's why I take and use my right arm whenever possible, and that way they don't have to you know use my left arm and stuff. And the only time I ever use my left arm is if my right arm, has a little bit of a bruise or something. Then I have to use my left arm, but I try not to even use it because if they can't find the vein on the right arm, and I say, it's my option. I say, well, go ahead and try it on the left arm, and I can refuse, I will still get paid my money because once they put the needle in you, and if they can't find the vein, even though they put the needle in you and they can't, do the whole process, you still get paid your money no matter what. Once that needle goes in, you know, then they have to pay you. So, how much what? How much I get paid? Well, yesterday I got $78 instead of 80 because my weight is down below 230 pounds. Because I have to be 230 or above to get the full $80 for my second visit. My first visit, well, it stays the same. It's $50 no matter what. And but since I was at 228 pounds yesterday, I only got paid $78. So I lost 2 pounds. So I lost $2. But the range on that $2 difference is anywhere from, I think it's like 200 and I think it's like from anywhere from 210 to 229 pounds. Anywhere in that range is $78. If I go below the 210 pounds, then it goes down $2 more. So they base what you get paid on what your weight is. So, because I was only getting $80 for my second visit. Well, that's at 230 pounds or higher. And if it's 210 to 229 pounds, it's $78. And then it's a different number, like if it's 209 pounds down to like, I don't know, say 200 pounds. If it's like, say, 200 pounds to 209 pounds, it's $2 less, so it'd be $76. And if it's below 200, you know, they have a weight range. Everything's based on your weight for that second visit. Your first visit never changes. It's always, well, for me, it's $50. Now, if I get down to like 195 pounds or something like that, then that $50 would go down to $45. So, everything's based on what you weigh as to how much you get. I know the lowest, pardon, go ahead. Oh yeah, there's people that's even bigger than I am. Like there was a guy that came that donated. He was in like the bed thing next to where I was, and he was a lot bigger than like what I was. So he would have definitely got the full pay that because well the high range is anywhere from 230 up to 400 pounds is $80 for your second visit in a week. So I can go clear up to 400 pounds and I'd still get this. Now, if you're above, even if you're like 500 pounds, I mean, you're still going to get the same pay, $80 for that second visit. No, there is no maximum on your weight. I mean, I'm sure they don't want to have somebody in there that's like, you know, much, much above 400 pounds because it could, be a health risk. Not saying that it would be, but they may limit how big a person can be, as far as their weight, as far as, donating. So, it just depends. So, well, I don't have to pick Melanie up today, so it's 6:31 now, so we'll start saying our goodbyes at 6:35, and then I figure by the time we say goodbye and everything, it's going to be getting close to 6:40, and then I'll leave to go up to work and stuff. But I don't have to pick Melanie up today. Jessica, the assistant manager, she's the opening management person in charge today, and she gets there around a quarter till 7. So because she drives, so I don't have to pick her up. Melanie's the only one I ever have to pick up. I will be picking Melanie up again tomorrow, Sunday morning. Yeah, but Melanie took today off. So, and then Jessica, huh? Yeah, it's Melanie's day off today for this week. Then she'll be back to work tomorrow. But Jessica, the opening manager today, she starts her vacation tomorrow. So she'll be on vacation all next week. So, and then in August, like, if everything still works out, that I can leave when I plan on leaving, I'll be gone for basically 2 weeks. And Melanie is, during one of those 2 weeks, Melanie will also be on vacation. So they'll be short me and Melanie both one of those 2 weeks that I'm going to be gone. Because Melanie will be over her vacation. And then when we get back, then there's another lady that's in management. Her name is Deb. She's older than I am. She's going on vacation once I get back. So it's that time of year when everybody's taking their vacation, because everybody takes their, vacations during the summertime to go wherever and stuff. So, but yeah, like I said, Jessica starts her vacation tomorrow, so she'll be gone all next week. And there's one day, I think it's next Thursday. Um, it will be Melanie. No, not Melanie, because Melanie will be taking Thursday off the next week. But it'll be Deb, the other person that's in management. She's not the manager or the assistant, but she can open or close the store any day of the week. And so I'll be working with her next Thursday because it'll be Melanie's day off, and Jessica's on vacation, and so it'll just be Deb and I, and I'll be scheduled 7 to 12, but it will only be Deb and I until 1:30. So instead of getting off at 12, I'll be getting off at 1:30 because there has to be two people in the store at any time. So The other person won't. The next person don't come in until 1:30, so I'll be there until 1:30, even though I'm scheduled until 12 o'clock. So that's next Thursday. So oh well, gotta do what you gotta do. But- and I'm still checking, looking around to try and find us a bigger place. I'm just looking right now because I'm not. If I move, it ain't gonna be until sometime after the first of the year. So right now, I'm just looking around and stuff. And of course, if I find something, that doesn't guarantee that it will be available, after the first of the year. They may have it rented out to somebody else. But right now, I'm just looking around at different places and prices and everything like that to try and give us a bigger place once you're here. I know I can't get a house because I don't have that great a credit. So it ain't like I can just go and get a loan, to you know buy a house. So I just have to go with renting. I would like to find a place where I could, a house, even if it's just a small house, where it would be like a rent to own. I pay my rent, monthly, and that would go towards, you know, me actually buying the property. So I'm just looking at all the different possibilities and, and see what I can find. So, well, it's 6:37, hon. So I'm gonna start saying our goodbyes because I'm looking at it's 6:37 right now. So I figure by the time we get done saying our goodbyes and everything, it'll be close to 6:40, and then it'll be time for me to go. Then, yeah, 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 yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, hon. Well, we're gonna say our goodbyes. It's 6:38 now, so by the time we get done with everything, it'll be close to 6:40. So, oh yeah, we will. Well, not later tonight, 'cause I know you'll be in bed by the time I get off of work. 'Cause it'll be 2 o'clock or after, most likely after 2:30 before I get off work. So, okay, hon. So, you sleep well and sweet dreams, and I love you so, so much, forever and ever and always. And I always will love you, no matter how far apart we are. I will always love you. Okay. Mwah. So, okay. So, one, two, three. Mm, mm, and two. Yeah, I will, hon. And if now, I'm not even going to ask you to. I was going to ask you, just, yeah, go ahead and stand up for me. That way I have a mental picture while I'm at work. But now that's okay. I don't want you to do it, hon. So, okay, hon. I will let you go, and I will talk to you tomorrow morning before I go to work. So, okay. So sleep well, my love, and I love you so, so much. Okay, bye bye for now. Okay. Mwah. You're my love, my beautiful, sweet, loving wife, my forever wife. Mwah. Okay, bye bye, hon. I love you. Okay, bye bye. Okay, let me turn that off. Here, turn my light off. Then my pocket take it with me.